Hey folks, it's a lovely summer's morning. I've just parked up in Woodvale Avenue in South Norwood because today we're going to have a little walk around South Norwood Lake, something that's been requested on more than one occasion. So I thought I'd pick the right moment to explore it and see it in all its glory. A couple of buildings here just at the entrance. Got the pavilion, that's the Waterside Centre Pavilion. There's a cafe here, currently closed, they're on leave, a little notice there. We've got a cricket club, because the cricket square is just over to the left of us. And there's various other activities that take place. You can just about see behind there's a number of boats. Croydon Sailing Club is based here, but just wanted to highlight this house, which I believe was built by Alfred Steer back in the Victorian times, and what a beautiful house it is. This is the Waterside Centre. You can hire it out and other activities are hosted there. Let's take a walk and explore. Notice here all about the lake and grounds. As I say, there's a lot that goes on here. Fishing, subject to a licence. You can play tennis. There's a bowling green, cricket ground we've mentioned, and rather large playing fields. But the story, the history to this place is really quite something. Just a sign there, Friends of South Norwood Lake, who look after a lot of the goings on here. And let's just have a quick look at it on this platform. It really is a stunning morning. It's going to get to 30 degrees today. And we can see in all its glory the size and beauty of this. Largest expanse of open water in the Croydon area. Pretty much on the boundary of Croydon here. But isn't it wonderful? Absolutely stunning. This is another angle of the boats from Croydon Sailing Club, and the TV tower in the background, well, one of the two. People out early getting their exercise. So it's a man-made lake. It was originally built to supply a canal. It's 18 feet deep at its deepest, but there's no real shallow end, so it must get very deep very soon, as you would expect from the construction of a reservoir. At the beginning of the 19th century, the land now occupied the lake and the cricket field. That was part of Norwood Common, and the land to the north of here belonged to the Archbishops of Canterbury. So in 1799, an engineer called Ralph Dodd was commissioned to survey a line for a canal to link the busy market town of Croydon to the Thames and to the London market and port. His scheme wasn't adopted, but in 1800 another engineer, John Rennie, was commissioned. So there were some commercial ideas about this place. Trade from Croydon to London, and the alternative scheme didn't go all the way into London. It kind of went through the line of the nearby train route up towards the Deptford New Cross area. So in 1809 the canal was opened, big fanfare as you would expect, but it wasn't really a commercial success. There's springs that feed this body of water here, and they felt that they could use this kind of multi-level system to supply the water that the canal would need and avoid locks. But eventually they had to build locks, and there was a reservoir here and there was one at Sydenham. There's no trace of the one in Sydenham anymore. There's only this one that remains. The railways were starting to emerge at this point, and because of the pretty much commercial failure of the canals, it was felt, let's drain it off, turn it over to the railway company, and that's exactly what happened. So the railway line starts at West Croydon, and you can actually trace to this day where the railway kind of sits in a bed, and that would have been the Croydon Canal. The canal that would have gone through this local area would have been fed by water from this reservoir here at South Norwood Lake. The railway line was open in 1839, and the lake lay derelict for a few years. In 1881 a sports club was formed, and the lake was used for fishing and swimming and also skating in the winter. Now the lake is fed by springs that rise on the hillside where the geology changes and the gravel meets London clay beneath. And there used to be a motorboat called the Skylark that would give members of public trips around the lake until 1955. That ran. And the ducks just down there on the water side, minding their own business. The history of this area is closely associated with Norwood Sports Club. So I mentioned Alfred Steer, who I believe was the one who owned the house, built the house and owned the house on the corner there we saw at the beginning. And he was quite involved in the sporting side of things in the area. The club actually became the largest tennis club in the area with 54 grass courts, as we just see the train go by on the railway line where once was a canal. Bit of history here actually. It's a bit scratched and worn, but there's one here. The canal ran through undeveloped countryside. The lake from the hill in South Norwood. Skating on the lake in the 1890s, not allowed today. And here we have the Skylark. So visitors enjoy a ride on the motor launched the Skylark in the 1950s. Cost 2p for adults and 1 penny for children. The launch hoist can still be seen today near the Woodvale Avenue entrance. Wonderful. Another couple of information boards here. So we've got the fish that are in the lake: stickleback, roach, perch, rudd, gudgeon, carp, tench and bream. Maybe others. Little sign there, a memory sign. And then we've got some birds to look out for: heron, swan, mallard, Canada goose, cormorant, pochard, moorhen, great crested grebe and a coot. Not sure how many we'll see today. But it's really nice here that you can just have a wander, you can have a little jog, get your licence and do some fishing. In 1931, Croydon Corporation purchased 16 acres of the ground, continued to lease facilities. And in 1969, the whole of the grounds, cricket field, tennis courts and bowling green, but excluding the clubhouse, were open to the public. I keep stopping and sharing these views because they're so wonderful. Doesn't seem like we're near South London, Croydon. Little oasis. Actually quite high up there. So I'm assuming that would have been built up, the line just on the middle of the screen there. And I'll show a map of just how the lines are laid out, so you can see where they are in proximity to the reservoir and where they eventually go off to. It's not far from here. We've got Crystal Palace Park and also Selhurst Park, home of Crystal Palace FC, just down the hill a bit. And these little jetties, I suppose you call them, for the fishermen. I only saw one. To be fair, I wasn't really looking, but I saw one anyway when I was on my way round, and didn't bother him. Just let him get on with his enjoyment of his fishing. There aren't many bad views here. It's more a case of where's the sun positioned and allowing for that. Where can I get the best view to show you? But there's just so many here. The wind is very slight today, so it's not an issue at all. Just a little ripple on the water. And a TV tower there. So, is this a place you visited in the past? Is it a place you might visit now? Always delighted if I can do my bit to help promote local area. So this is definitely a local beauty spot, but it's got a lot of history as well. It's like ticks a number of boxes. We've got a TV tower over on that side, and then the other one over there. Popular landmarks And a nice little shot there in the middle. Beautiful. Thank you for pointing this out as I wrestle with the sun over my side here. But thank you so much for pointing this out to me, because I'd not really explored it at all. I was sort of aware of it. Just break off for another little view here. Just watch it for ages, couldn't you? This particular spot reminds me a bit of the pond over at Godstone, just off the high street there. See previous video. Size looks similar. Oh dear. I don't think I caused that bird to make that screech. Picking up on what we saw on the information board, but I'm assuming this must be it. Sort of concrete platform there, and then we've got these big metal structures here. So I guess they are swingable, movable. Just step back to sort of get them both in shot, because this one on the left is pointing here as if said boat may have been brought in and just kind of rested over the concrete, and that one's at a different angle, so I guess they can be turned around to bring it in and then move it over. I don't know. It'd be great if there's some film out there of these happening, or in another location that we could show how these work. But that's my completely unqualified theory, that they swing around and then can be brought the boat off of the water and onto a kind of resting position here. So yeah, nice to see that. So we completed the circuit back at the beginning. So there we go. You requested it, I went out and filmed it. I hope you enjoyed the visit to South Norwood Lake. If you did, please hit like. If you hadn't subscribed, please hit subscribe. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.